hydrologic cycle and carbon cycle. Our lesson today, nitrogen cycle. Now, a question. Why nitrogen is very important for living organisms? Why? Yes, Ahmed?
The nitrogen makes up 38% of the atmosphere and also is found in amino acids.
Nucleic acid, amino acid,
And vitamins and hormones.
vitamins and hormones. Yes, very good. Why nitrogen is very important for living organisms? Because it is a part or it is enter in the structure of an important compound such as amino acid, vitamins, hormone. Yes, and these compounds is very important for living organisms. Yes, very good. Now, other question. What is the source or sources of nitrogen in nature? We have two sources. Yes, atmosphere is one. Yes, other source. Yes, living things or living organisms. Now we have two sources for nitrogen in nature. And first we talk about, yes, atmosphere. Atmosphere in any form. Yes, gas. Yes, very good. Atmospheric gas is called N2 in structure. N2. And living organism. Living organism. What does that mean? Source of nitrogen, living organism. In any form, we can get nitrogen from living organism. Yes? No. The form, such as vitamins or hormones, in any form. Proteins, yes, very good. Proteins. Yes. Now, other question. How can the living organisms get or use nitrogen? Because living organisms is different or is vary between them by getting nitrogen. Now, how can the living organisms use nitrogen? Yes. Yes, Hassan?
Plants can use nitrogen in the form of fats and NO3.
Yes, very good. The plant cannot get atmospheric nitrogen. Cannot get atmospheric nitrogen. But it can get nitrogen as nitrate and oxygen. And ammonium and H4 salts. Yes, in this two forms. Nitrate and NH4 salts. Yes, very good. Yes, this is about plant. What about the animals? Yes, Ahmed.
Animals obtain nitrogen from organisms that they eat.
Give up your voice.
Animals obtain nitrogen from the proteins
As proteins from other living organisms.
Animals that
When they eat. I talk about animals, eat other living organisms. Other living organisms can be plant. It can be other animals. Yes, it can get nitrogen. Get nitrogen in any form. In atmospheric nitrogen? No. In
protein.
protein. Yes, very good. What about microorganisms? Yes. Right.
The atmospheric nitrogen can be used directly by some microbes.
Directly. Yes, it can be used the atmospheric nitrogen. يعني N2. Yes, does that mean? N2. This is about the microorganisms. Now, the living organisms can get nitrogen. Yes, the plant get nitrogen as NO3 and NH4 salts. Animals can get nitrogen as proteins. That when they eat other living organisms, other plant or other animals. Microorganisms can get atmospheric nitrogen directly from the weather. Yes. Now, nitrogen cycle is very complex cycle, and it is actually have 5 steps. 5 steps. Now, list these 5 steps. Yes.
Nitrogen fixation
Nitrogen fixation,
or nitrification
nitrification,
or assimilation
الاسsimilation
and
ammonification
ammonification and denitrification.
and denitrification. Now, this is steps. What does that mean? Nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, and ammonification and denitrification. These steps is controlled by what? Who can yes,
That's it.
give me what is the control of these 5 steps?
That
Yes, control by
convert nitrogen from atmosphere to
by what?
is that by bacteria.
Bacteria. All of these are these 5 steps is controlled by bacteria. What does that mean? Now listen to me. The first steps is called nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation. What does that mean? That means nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen N2 is converted from atmospheric form to the nitrate by what? By a kind of bacteria is called cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria. This bacteria convert N2 into NO3. شو يسوي؟
So the NH
convert into NH3 into NH3 الأمونيا. The second step is called nitrification. Nitrification, other bacteria is called nitrifying bacteria. Nitrifying bacteria convert the NH3 into NO3. Into NO3. NO3 is used by what?
by
Yes,
plants.
very good. By plant. We say that. After a minute, we say the plant use NO3. Now, a plant and animals use nitrogen or use nitrogen in a form of proteins of NO3, and then it enters to the structure of the body of this plant. By what? By any process. It's called assimilation. Assimilation. After that, when this plant and animals die, when this plant and animals, it can die or not? Can die, yes. When this plant and animal die, then it can be converted into other form. It's called NH4. NH4 by other processes called denitrification. Denitrification by what? By denitrifying bacteria is converted into atmospheric nitrogen. Now we start with atmospheric nitrogen and end with atmospheric. What is this? This is the cycle. Cycle of what? Of nitrogen. Have 5 steps. This is about the nitrogen cycle. Now, nitrogen cycle consists of 5 steps. Start with nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, ammonification, and end with denitrification. Denitrification, what does that mean? That means that the NH4 converts into atmospheric nitrogen.